The blinding neon lights of the Grand Plaza Hotel hummed with an almost sickening elegance, casting long, sharp shadows across the polished marble floors where the elite of the city gathered. It was the annual gala for the Sterling Empire, a multi-billion-dollar conglomerate built from the ground up by Julian Sterling, a young, razor-sharp millionaire whose ruthless business acumen was matched only by his deep, quiet philanthropy. Among the sea of tailored tuxedos and glittering silk gowns stood Maya, a 19-year-old catering assistant wearing a faded, oversized black uniform that had clearly seen better days. Maya lived in a cramped, leaking basement apartment 3 miles away, working 3 jobs just to keep up with her younger brother's staggering medical bills. To the wealthy guests flowing past her with flutes of vintage champagne, Maya was completely invisible, just another cog in the massive luxury machine. But Maya had learned early in life that being invisible meant people forgot you had eyes and ears. She noticed everything, the subtle shifts in body language, the nervous glances, and the quiet whispers hidden beneath the roar of the chamber orchestra. Tonight, all eyes were on Victoria Vance, Julian's stunning fiancée and the daughter of one of his biggest hedge fund partners. Victoria moved through the ballroom like a swan, her red velvet gown trailing behind her as she charmed investors, but Maya had been watching Victoria closely all evening from behind the long velvet drapery near the service kitchen. Maya had seen the way Victoria's posture stiffened whenever Julian stepped away to speak with his legal team, and she had caught the quick, conspiratorial nod Victoria exchanged with Julian's ambitious stepbrother, Richard. Richard stood in the corner, his eyes glinting with a dark, desperate hunger that Maya recognized all too well. It was the look of a predator who knew the trap was about to spring. The centerpiece of the evening was a bespoke, 3-tiered dark chocolate cake laced with rare gold leaf, created specifically for Julian to celebrate his company's newest international merger. As the head chef rolled the dessert cart toward the main stage, Maya noticed Victoria stepping into the shadow of the preparation alcove, pulling a small, amber glass vial from her designer clutch. With a swift, practiced movement that took less than 2 seconds, Victoria unstoppered the vial and let 3 clear, viscous drops fall directly onto the central slice reserved specifically for Julian before smoothing down her gown and stepping back into the light. Maya's heart hammered against her ribs like a trapped bird, her pulse raced so wildly she could hear it in her ears. She knew the golden rule of service staff: stay silent, do your job, and never, under any circumstances, address a client directly. Losing this job meant her brother would be evicted from his care facility by Monday morning, yet the image of Julian innocently eating that poisoned slice haunted her conscience. As the crowd gathered around the stage and Julian took the silver cake server into his hand, laughing at a joke Richard made into the microphone, Maya made a split-second decision that would alter the course of her life forever. Pushing past an astonished head waiter who shouted a muted reprimand, Maya broke through the velvet rope, her worn rubber-soled shoes squeaking loudly against the pristine floor, causing dozens of heads to turn in sudden shock. Julian had just raised the silver fork containing the dark, glistening cake to his lips when Maya lunged forward, her trembling hand reaching into the personal space of a man worth billions. Before security could react, she raised her voice, a clear, desperate ring cutting through the gentle hum of the classical music. "Stop. Don't touch it. She put something in your cake." A collective gasp ripped through the magnificent room like a shockwave, instantly freezing the laughter in people's throats. Julian stopped mid-bite, his sharp blue eyes narrowing as he lowered the fork, shifting his gaze from the breathless, disheveled girl in front of him to his fiancée standing beside him. Victoria's face flushed a deep crimson before settling into a cold, terrifying mask of pure aristocratic outrage. She instantly stepped back, clutching her pearl necklace and gasping dramatically for the benefit of the surrounding crowd. "Security! Get this lunatic away from us right now!" Victoria shrieked, her voice trembling with manufactured fear. "She's clearly deranged or trying to extort us. How did someone like this even get past the front doors?" 2 burly, dark-suited security guards materialized instantly, grabbing Maya hard by her upper arms and wrenching her back off the stage, pinning her hands behind her spine. Maya didn't fight them physically, but she kept her eyes locked onto Julian's, pleading with every ounce of sincerity she possessed. I saw her, Mr. Sterling. In the pantry shadow, 2 minutes ago. A tiny amber vial. Check her purse, or check the cake, please. I have nothing to gain by lying to you, but if you eat that, you won't survive the night. Richard stepped forward immediately, a sneer twisting his features as he motioned for the guards to drag her away faster. Throw her out into the alley and call the police, she's ruining the biggest night of this firm's history, Richard barked, trying to steer Julian toward the back exit to avoid a public scene. Julian stood entirely motionless for 3 long, agonizing seconds, holding the silver fork, his eyes fixed on Maya's terrified yet unflinching gaze. He saw no greed in her eyes, only raw, unadulterated truth. Yet, as the wealthy crowd began to murmur loudly and Victoria began to feign a panic attack, Julian raised his hand to signal the guards. Take her out of the main hall, Julian said coldly, his voice echoing over the hush of the crowd. We will handle this quietly downstairs. As Maya was dragged away into the dark, damp service corridors, she felt a sickening wave of despair wash over her. She had sacrificed her livelihood, her safety, and her brother's future, and it seemed the millionaire had chosen to believe the glittering lie right in front of him.